The dream of Mars is an old one, a persistent whisper in the human story. For centuries, it was a point of light that sparked myths, imagined civilizations. Then, it became science fiction, a dusty red world waiting for our footprints. Today, on October 15th, 2025, that fiction is rapidly turning into a blueprint for reality. The race to make humanity multiplanetary is no longer a fantasy. It is an active, high-stakes engineering contest. Two vastly different, yet equally determined contenders stand at the front. NASA, SpaceX. The prize? A foothold on another world. Mars, the ultimate frontier. Prove new technologies, expand human presence, possibly secure our species against catastrophe. Their methods could not be more different. NASA's approach: a carefully choreographed sequence of missions, each building on the last. Safety and scientific rigor first. It's a marathon. Musk's approach: a blitzkrieg of innovation, rapid iteration, explosive tests. A belief that speed is the critical variable. Before SpaceX, the cosmos belonged to governments. Private orbital-class rockets, considered fantasy. Elon Musk, fresh from PayPal, was one of them. In 2002, he founded SpaceX. Goal: make life multiplanetary. He originally wanted a Mars Oasis greenhouse, but launch costs were astronomical. So he chose to build cheaper rockets himself. They set out to build the Falcon 1. First 3 launches failed. Engine caught fire on the pad. Another spun out of control. A third suffered a staging collision. With each failure, bankruptcy loomed. Turning point: September 28, 2008. From a remote Pacific isle, the 4th Falcon 1 lifted off and reached orbit. The success saved SpaceX. Months later, NASA awarded a $1.6 billion resupply contract. Stability funded bigger ambitions: Falcon 9 and Dragon. While SpaceX was being forged in startup culture, NASA was pursuing its own path to deep space as a federal agency. NASA's history is monumental. Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Voyager probes. Its approach to Mars is no different. Decades of robotic missions have peeled back the planet's secrets, laying the foundation for human flight. Spirit, opportunity, curiosity, perseverance. Each answered questions and raised new ones. Perseverance is collecting samples for a future return to Earth. For human deep space, NASA developed the Space Launch System and the Orion Crew capsule, a spiritual successor to Saturn V, designed to be the most powerful rocket ever built. Progress has been slow, buffeted by politics and budgets. Strategy: incremental. First the Moon, then Mars, with Artemis and the Gateway as proving grounds. Test life support, practice surface ops, understand deep space radiation. A deliberate, risk-averse approach, in stark contrast to its private sector rival. Sustainable presence on the Moon to retire risk before Mars. If the Falcon 1 was proof of concept, the Falcon 9 was the workhorse. Mastery of reusability revolutionized the industry and made Mars plausible. Traditionally, rockets were single-use. Their stages burned or sank, like throwing away a 747 after one flight. On December 21, 2015, a Falcon 9 first stage landed back at Cape Canaveral. Soon, land and sea landings became routine. Costs plunged. SpaceX dominated the market. Starship, the holy grail of rocketry, a massive super heavy booster plus the Starship spacecraft, fully and rapidly reusable. Nearly 400 feet tall, over 100 tons and up to 100 people to orbit. Refuel in Earth orbit, then depart with immense cargo for Mars. Development follows rapid, iterative testing at Starbase. Public failures stream live. Rapid data collection events, not setbacks. By 2024, integrated flights showed steady progress toward orbit and recovery. Goal: land a cargo Starship on Mars before decade's end. NASA's Artemis, a grand endeavor named for Apollo's twin. Land the first woman and the first person of color on the Moon. A methodical, multi-stage campaign to sustain deep space presence. Artemis the First of 2022. Uncrewed Orion rode SLS on a 25-day journey farther than any human-rated craft. heat shield survived near 25,000 miles per hour, a tangible return to deep space exploration. Gateway, a small station in lunar orbit, not permanently crewed. Orion ferries crew to Gateway, then a lander descends. NASA awarded the first lander contract to SpaceX, a lunar-optimized Starship. Build near the South Pole to harvest water ice for air, water, propellant. ISRU. Practice on the Moon to retire risks before betting a Mars mission on these technologies. The entire program is a dress rehearsal for humanity's next giant leap. A rival becomes a partner in the journey. NASA's moon plan now relies on the technology of its chief Mars rival. The fundamental difference can be distilled into a single word: risk. Risk philosophy dictates speed, budget, and culture. SpaceX embraces move fast and break things, imported from software. Iterative testing reveals flaws fast and drives quick solutions. Most tests are uncrewed. Hardware loss is costly, not tragic. A SpaceX fireball can be an exciting lesson. A NASA failure may trigger investigations and public outcry. NASA's caution was forged in tragedy. Apollo 1, Challenger, Columbia. Redundancy and exhaustive oversight are non-negotiable. Human-rated hardware is certified over years. Expensive, thorough. NASA is accountable to taxpayers and Congress. Loss of a crew is national trauma. Move too fast, or move so slowly you never arrive. Supporters say, when lives are at stake, caution has no substitute. The race is fueled by money, and shaped by politics and public opinion. Sources differ dramatically, influencing strategy and timelines. SpaceX runs on private capital, Musk's fortune, investors, and launch revenues. Dominating commercial launches funds Starship. Private funding grants agility, fast decisions, bold bets. But it's beholden to markets and reliability. NASA is taxpayer-funded. Congress allocates its budget. Programs must be sold on science and jobs. Contracts spread across states build support and inertia. Musk's direct, bombastic PR inspires a devoted following. NASA uses imagery, outreach, and astronauts to sustain public will. Sustained public support becomes political will and stable budgets. Keeping the dream alive is essential for both. The path from dreaming to stepping on Mars is paved with colossal challenges. Outside Earth's shield, galactic rays and solar storms threaten crews. Radiation damages DNA, raises cancer risk, may impair cognition. Effective lightweight shielding is hard. Life support must recycle air and water with near-perfect reliability. Psychological strain of months-long isolation is a wild card. Mars air. Too thin for drag on heavy craft, thick enough to burn on entry. NASA calls it 7 minutes of terror. SpaceX plans a powered belly flop. Unprecedented. NASA explores advanced aeroshells and inflatable decelerators. None proven at human mission scale. SpaceX hinges on ISRU. Methane and oxygen from CO2 and ice via Sabatier. Tested in labs, not on another planet. If it fails, crews could be stranded. NASA treats ISRU as a long-term goal, not a prerequisite. These hurdles are the true frontiers of the race. The narrative of Musk vs. NASA is compelling. A dramatic race, a clear winner, a clear loser. SpaceX's relentless pace and revolutionary tech force the industry to accelerate. Starship makes a multi-planet future feel tangible. NASA's methodical science-first approach is the bedrock. Artemis retires risk, builds deep space operations experience. Orion, Starship. The paths are converging. NASA is a key partner and customer for SpaceX. Partnership yields funding and validation for SpaceX, lower-cost tech for NASA. The race reshapes our species' ambitions and asks who we want to become. It forces solutions to immense problems and reflection on our place in the universe. So as these titans push forward, the question isn't just who gets there first, but what kind of future will we build when we arrive?